Hey there, students. Welcome back to School of Tomorrow. This is where we practice tomorrow's skills today. One of our tools is the calculator of tomorrow, which is a rough description of any IDE or computing surface. This surface is called Codesters, and it lets us write Python code, a variant of Python code on the left, and have it run on the right. So I'm going to save this for a second. It's already saved, actually. I'm going to go out and look at two other projects first. Now, if you live in one of those so-called flyover states that people make fun of, I want you to know, as a West Coaster, that this curriculum is further ahead than theirs, right? I've been inside a lot of schools out here, and what you're getting is ahead. So tell your parents, show them the proof. Now, one of the projects we were doing was a slideshow, and I wanted to show you how you can get your slideshow and make it another slideshow. And you don't have to go with my code. I did write this code. It's coming into view now. It takes a while, doesn't it, to actually color show itself. It's taking a long time, actually. The next slideshow after this one, I'm going to show you my source. It's the figure index of an American writer, an inventor that we talk about sometimes, obviously. And here is a place to get GIFs, right? So I just load them. I don't save them. They only show on the screen for a few seconds. And part of this writer, Buckminster Fuller's philosophy was that we needed to collaborate as humans on making the world work. That's kind of duh, it's obvious. But he called it world game, which was clever. And a big focus of it was continuing what was called the rural electrification program that started big time under Franklin Delano Roosevelt. It's how President Johnson got to be so popular in Texas. Is by extending these grids, and this process didn't suddenly stop at some point. It's like, oh, now we're done. We've got everything's got a grid. We're finished. No, there's still a lot more that was needed in North America, and then the rest of the world was doing grids. Everyone's doing grids, right? Ever since Tesla and Edison, and well, there's a lot of heroes I could mention. I won't get into that right now. On this one, when you click with your mouse anywhere on the surface, you get, now this is not, these inner ties may not all exist at the moment. You get a slide that only lasts for a certain amount of time. I've got a 5-second duration for each of these. So we look at the North American plan, the European plan, and we look at an Asian plan. You can see the outline of China here from the political map, and now we go back to the other map we've been using, which is nation free, just so we can look at other data too, right? You can always switch back to any other map that you already have. It's not like you can't go back, right? You can go back to the Mercator anytime when you want to see some nations, like Greenland, which is actually part of what country? Quiz time, just kidding. So again, it's slow loading. I don't know why, but probably it's a busy day out there in router lands. Remember, Warriors of the Net, great YouTube if you want to get a picture of how the internet works. It's all about packets, in case you wonder if you're on the right one. There might be other TV series named that. It's kind of, you can't copyright a name, right? So here we go, run it again. This time we're looking at what? A fuller projection. And when we click, we see our Turtle Airlines, or Green Tortoise Airlines, going across the screen, taking a polar route. So now you can imagine superimposing a grid or electrical grids on the same map and zooming in and seeing details and so on, and on other maps as well. So that brings me back to where we started. How these all connect together is they kind of go back to the same positive futurism, the same brand. Now I noticed that Spatial Shapes doesn't have any nice thumbnail. So when you want to save a thumbnail, the thing to do is catch it when it's got something cool on the canvas. Hit the save button, the blue button at that point. So we'll do that. Now these are just your A, B, and S modules, which you already know everything about. But just showing how you can pull them into slide there. I just saved it. So now I've got the thumbnail there, right? So we can run this with another click. There's your S modules, well known to you. Remember, you're ahead of most kids. Most kids don't know any of this. And number 3, click. And then it just goes round and round, right? It goes back to A modules, just like the other slides. So all you need to do is change the 3 URLs. And you see my source again, Bob Gray's website. I've got only 3 slides. They all come from the same place. Your typical URL has to end in GIF, JPG, or PNG. They have to be picture files for Codesters to deal with them. And then set the size, right? You may need to magnify or shrink. It's just going to be treating it as a sprite, like any other sprite. And then I have some routine code, which I could probably refactor this, right? And so feel free to refactor this somehow, make it short or make it better. It's what it is for the moment. And that's it. Enjoy.